Hello students, a very good morning. How are you all? I hope very good and fine. Here I am with another video, Unit 23 of Class 11's Compulsory English question answer series of the group short stories, and the title of our today's story is God Sees the Truth but Waits. Students, let's begin. Turn to page 214. Understanding the text. Answer these questions. A. What bad habits did Aksionov have before his marriage? Answer. Before his marriage, in his youthful days, Aksionov had a bad habit of drinking and was righteous, which means showing violent and disorderly behavior when he drank too much. B. What can be the meaning of his wife's dream? Answer. Aksionov's wife had a bad dream that he had returned from the town, and when he took off his cap, he saw that his hair was quite grey. This kind of bad dream to her wife must have been a warning to them that something bad was going to happen in their life. C. Why did Aksionov think of killing himself? Answer. Aksionov was accused of a murder in which he was completely innocent, and he was put into jail. He spent 26 important years of his life in jail. By that time, he had grown very old and his hair had turned white. Once, the real murderer in this case happens to be arrested in the case of theft. And after hearing what had happened to Aksionov, this murderer, whose name was Marcus Semenik, gives him a hint that he had actually committed that crime 26 years ago, and he was the actual person who had to be in this jail in place of Aksionov. When Aksionov comes to understand that the real murderer was in front of him, he really feels sorry for himself. As a flashback, he remembers every moment of that incident. He remembers his wife's face and her emotional state, the condition of his young children. The youngest of them was still in his mother's breast. He remembers that this incident, where he was completely innocent, had shattered his life. This makes him very sad, distressed, and completely desperate. Although the real murderer was in front of him, he could not do anything to him. He had no solid evidence to prove himself innocent, so he felt like killing himself at that moment. D. Why did Marcus Semenik disclose that he had killed the merchant? Answer. Marcus Semenik was planning to escape from the prison, so he was digging a hole every day and he was hiding the mud in his boot. One day, Aksionov had found out this, so Marker had threatened to kill him if he reported about this to the prison soldiers. When the prison soldiers found the mud being hidden in the boots, they asked if the prisoners did it. No one spoke. The governors went straight to Aksionov. As he was the oldest and wisest of the prisoners, Marker thought that Aksionov would surely take his name as he knew about this. So Marker thought that he was surely in trouble now. But to his great surprise, no matter how strictly the governor asked him to disclose the truth, Aksionov did not take his name. He was ready to accept any kind of punishment the prison governor would give him, but he did not speak. Thus, he saved Marker from getting into a big trouble. Seeing such generosity and greatness of Aksionov, Marker could not take it any longer. He felt so guilty of himself that he went to Aksionov that same night and fell to the ground in front of him, and he confessed that he had actually killed the merchant. He was guilty and poor Aksionov was actually innocent. E. Why doesn't Aksionov wish to return to his family at the end of the story? Answer. Aksionov doesn't want to return to his family at the end of the story, as his wife had already died and his children would not recognize him. So it was pointless to return to his family after separating from them for 26 years. So he made up his mind to spend rest of his life also in the prison. Now, reference to the context. A. Well, old man, repeated the governor, tell me the truth. Who has been digging under the wall? Number 1. Who is that old man? Answer. Aksionov is that old man. 2. Which truth is the speaker asking about? Answer. The speaker is asking about the truth of digging the tunnel. Who was actually doing it among them, the prisoners? Number 3. Which wall does the speaker mean? Answer. The speaker was referring to the barricade around the prison. E. Describe Aksionov's character. Answer. Aksionov is the main character of this story. He belongs to a well-accomplished Russian business family of Vladimir. He is a tall, slim, and good-looking young man. He is a hard-working family man who is very loving, soft, easygoing, carefree, and generous in nature, and he loves to play guitar when he is free. He has a nice family with a loving and caring wife and the small kids. He also loves to drink and is righteous when drunk. A great misfortune comes in his life when he is on the way to a fair. Although he is completely innocent, he is accused of murdering a man and is sentenced lifetime imprisonment. His life story shows that he is very helpful, patient, forgiving, and of enduring nature. He becomes very close to God at the end phase of his life when he becomes very old and feeble. Luckily, the actual murderer also comes to the jail in a case of theft, and he at last admits to his crime and Aksionov is relieved from the jail. But Aksionov has nowhere to go and he dies in jail only. During his lifetime, he silently endures all the pain, the separation from his family, the false accusation, the jail sentence, 26 years of hard prison life. This shows that he is psychologically a very strong man with a great determination and endurance. C. What is the theme of the story? Answer. The main theme of the story is truth and destiny. Truth will always remain the truth. No one can hide it or destroy it. It will come out one day as the truth, and everybody is born with a destiny. No one can change it. One has to accept life as it comes. No one knows what is written in his destiny. Destiny and God is very powerful. Also, one should have faith in God. God sees the truth but waits. Other important aspects of the story are guilt, forgiveness, faith, conflict, patience, and acceptance. Lots of conflict came into Aksionov's life. Although he was completely innocent, He silently endured and accepted life as it came with great patience and faith in God. He forgave all the wrongdoers in his life along with the actual murderer, Marcus Seminic. That is why he could live a peaceful life at all circumstances. At last, the truth came out by the grace of God, but by then he had lost his home, family, relatives, and friends, and he himself had reached the last phase of his life. D. Which symbols are used in the story and what do they indicate? These symbols are used in the story. Number 1, Aksionov's wife's dream, which symbolizes a bad destiny of their family. Number 2, God, which symbolizes faith and hope. Number 3, house, store, and horses symbolizes the material wealth and desires of mankind. Number 4, prison, which symbolizes pain, suffering, and hardship. Number 5, prison life, which symbolizes forgiveness, acceptance, and adaptation. Number 6, saint, which symbolizes love, forgiveness, inspiration, spirituality, and dedication to God. Number 7, truth, which symbolizes reality of life, which is undeniable and indestructible. Now the last part, reference beyond the text. A. What role does religion play in Aksionov's life? How does he undergo a spiritual transformation in the story? Answer. Religion plays a very important role in Aksionov's life. Although completely innocent, due to his destiny and bad fate, he is accused of a murder and is life sentenced in a prison. He is separated from his house, family, friends, relatives, and he loses everything in his life. But he has a great faith in God, so he doesn't give up his hope. He lives a life of a saint, always praying in silence, helping his fellow prisoners and looking after their needs. So all the people around him, including the prison officers, like him and trust him. They call him a saint with respect. He forgets and forgives everyone, including the real murderer, and becomes fully dedicated to God. He silently accepts his destiny and thus undergoes a spiritual transformation in his life. This helps him a lot to lead a quiet and peaceful life in the prison. The last question, B. What does the story tell us about the existence of unfair system of justice? Answer. In this story, the main protagonist, Mr. Aksionov, is falsely accused of a murder based on circumstantial evidence and is life sentenced in a prison in which he spends 26 precious years of his life and finally dies there. During this time, he has to undergo lots of pain, obstacles, and suffering in his life. He is separated from his big house, a business store, his loving family consisting of his wife and children, and his friends and relatives. He is completely innocent and the real murderer happens to land in the same prison, and at last he opens up the truth and Aksionov is proved innocent and is relieved from the jail. But what is the use? Due to the existence of an unfair system of justice, this innocent man lost everything in his life. He doesn't want to go back to his real world and at last he dies in the jail. So this story is trying to teach us that there should be a fair system of justice in this world. Purely innocent people should not be victimized as shown in the story. This is the end, students. Thank you so much for being with me till the end. Wish you a good day today. Bye-bye and see you in my next class.